Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome back to the Sorare channel. Before we get into it, I just want to quickly say, if any of you guys aren't subscribed to the channel, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. It definitely helps out a lot. I promise you it has nothing to do with the fact we're trying to get 1,000 subs so I can start monetizing. It has nothing to do with that, I swear. No, but seriously, subscribe to the channel, right? Today's video is absolutely huge. I am really excited about this midweek, and it's one of the reasons why I think it's really important on Sorare to look a few weeks in advance, because you can look at what you potentially have for a midweek. Like, you really can help yourself massively. I think midweek utility is huge for Sorare, and I'll go into that in a little bit more detail in just a moment. But we have our lineups for the upcoming game week, which I'm going to start with, and then we're going to talk about how we've done in this midweek, because this midweek is one of my best game weeks in a long time. So the lineups for this upcoming game week, we have 8 lineups in an academy team. So All-Star Rare Pro we're starting off with. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. If I go onto my Sorare data and I look at Football Builder, I don't know if any of you guys do this or if it's just me. I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 technically. 6 different drafts that I've made, like figuring out how I want to do this, and I'm still not 100%, but I think I've figured it out. I think I know how I want to do it. I've been like changing and stuff like that, and obviously some late news that I didn't know about also came out that I was lucky enough to catch this morning, which is changed a few things. So previously I did this a bit differently, but All-Star Rare Pro, we have got Armani against Banfield. They're like 23rd or something in the league. It's crazy. In fact, I can look at it now. He's one of the highest pick score goalkeepers. They're 26th in the league. He's one of the highest pick score goalkeepers. Now, Armani and River Plate defensively have been on a pretty poor run of form lately. I'll zoom in a little bit more so you guys can see. But if we take away, like, is it home games or away? It seems to be away games that they're struggling a little bit more in recently. It's actually pretty even. Yeah, I mean, they've had a few poor runs. I mean, this one doesn't count, obviously, because this game ended in like the 30-something minute. Against Vela Sarsfield, it wasn't ideal. Against Sporting Crystal, wasn't ideal. Platense wasn't ideal. Like, it's been a bit of a rough one, but keeping the clean sheet against Fluminense, I'm hoping now they can kick on and get back to some of this form, because I know that River and Armani are capable of these green scores on a regular basis, and playing 26th in the league, we should hopefully keep a clean sheet. I am hoping anyway. He's one of the highest pick goalies as well. It's between him and Hoyos, and they're against 26th and 27th in the league. I actually went with Armani just because I just think that they will do a lot better. That's just me anyway. We'll sort of see. Yeah, so I went with Gijs Smal. I believe it's pronounced Gijs or Gijs. I don't know. I'm trying to like perfect it. We've gone with Smaldini. For our defender. Midfielder, we've got Carlos Gil against Inter Miami. This is an interesting one. Now, 2 weeks ago, or a week ago, right, I would have said this is a guaranteed 100 points for Carlos Gil. But with the Messi boost, I don't know if Inter Miami are going to, like, just play a bit better. They have a bit of a boost now. They've signed Messi. Like, I don't know if they like, maybe they just turn it on a little bit and play a little bit better. I'm not entirely sure. Then we have Tiquinho Suarez at home to Fortaleza. I'm excited. I'm hoping he can get his first goal since I bought him. Well, he's scored, but his first goal in a SO5 scoring game. And then we have Cecilia at home to who is he against again? Somebody, I don't know. In fact, if we go like this, I can check, can't I? Cecilia is against Suwon these nuts. Sorry. Yeah, so All-Star Rare Pro, I think, has got a really good chance. It pays down rewards-wise to 81st as opposed to 130th in previous weeks, because we don't have anywhere near as many games on anymore. But I think there's definite potential. I'm really excited. I think that this team could smash. I did think about going like either a full 20 stack for the last game of the season for them. That would be scored, because I don't know when the qualifiers are. I don't think they're anytime soon though. Or going with like other style Smau and then Zaruki or something like that. But I'll show you why I went with this in a moment. All-Star Rare, we have gone with basically the 20 stack. We've got Unistal, Zaruki and Ugalde alongside Marlon and Saloy. So I went with it here because I just thought about it like, it's a bit of a risk going with all the 20 boys in All-Star Rare Pro, because I know that regardless of keeping a clean sheet, Smal can get a big boy score. I mean, against Sparta away, he was pushing up the pitch a lot. He had a couple of nice little runs and stuff like that. I think he can definitely get an assist against Sparta at home. I think Zaruki can definitely do really well. He scored against Sparta, obviously, in the last minute away. And Ugalde is one of those where, like, I believe in Ugalde. I think he's a very good player, but he also has those games where he gets a big chance missed or two, and it's a bit rough. So I decided, because I don't have a rare defender here, I thought I'd put the 3 into All-Star Rare. And, yeah, I kind of split them up a little bit based on the potential. Because I think, you know, Sparta are a really good team. Saito, Van Croy, and I think it's... their striker is a massive geezer. I forget his name, but he's class as well. But we have Marlon away from home. I think Marlon's just a really good player. He's got great potential to score some big boy points. And Saloy at home to Austin. First game with Saloy in the gallery. I'm excited to see how he does. I think he's a really good player, so we'll see what happens. Now, a few of these lineups are going to make sense when I explain them. So, Champion America Rare Pro is almost a bit of a throwaway, but it's not. It's like a very, very, like, outside shot. I don't think we actually win anything in this. It's very, very unlikely. And also, it has a very small prize pool. But Walter, if he keeps a clean sheet against Corinthians, I would be surprised if he gets less than 70 points. Robinson has got a really good matchup against DC United. But at the same time, I've noticed with Atlanta, against the lesser teams, sometimes they actually switch off a little bit and concede goals. So I didn't want to put him and Guzan in a priority lineup. They're actually better against better teams. And I think that's sort of proof in the pudding with that LAFC game. Both of them looked incredible in that game, right? And I think, like, against some of the lesser teams, quote unquote, they struggle a little bit more, in my opinion. Not struggle, but like they switch off and make more mistakes and stuff. Then we have João Paulo away to Charlotte. João Paulo is a fantastic scorer, but he's significantly better at home. He's almost a guaranteed 60 plus points at home, whereas away he can drop a few 40s or 50s. So I wanted to use him in a lineup that actually has a little bit of potential, but at the same time, you know, isn't a priority lineup. And this one makes sense because we have Russell Rowe and Fernandez. Now, Chicago Fire, I think Crew are going to absolutely batter Chicago Fire. I don't know if Russell Rowe, like, every now and then he gets a start, and I don't know maybe if he gets a random start this week or if he comes off the bench for the last 20-30 minutes, but he can get a goal off the bench. And Ignacio Fernandez did come off injured midweek against Fluminense, could potentially start on the bench, which is why he's basically a 50-50. Russell Rowe probably won't start but could get a goal off the bench. Walter likely does not keep a clean sheet. Robinson likely doesn't get a big score. Same with João Paulo. But I thought, put them all into one condensed lineup and we have a literal punt, and maybe it does well. And if not, it's just training, basically. That's why I did that, mate. I'm not expecting much, but that's why I put them into there. And I think it'll make more sense now because you'll see I actually had some really nice pieces as well. And I thought if I make a Champion America Rare team that's stronger, you've got way more potential to win rare cards in Champion America Rare, which would boost, sort of boost the gallery, right? Than in Rare Pro, because I didn't have the significant super rares to go with them, if that makes sense. So we've gone with Lucas Hoyos, Gustavo Velasquez, Aiden Morris, Paulinho, and Carranza. You're noticing 3 under-23 players there. I actually can't really put together a strong under-23 team, so I'm using the under-23s into other lineups, hoping that they are differentials, because most people play these cards in under-23. So, like, most people are not going to use Morris, Paulinho, and Carranza in Champion America Rare, whereas a lot of people will use Gustavo and Lucas Hoyos in Champion America Rare. So they're kind of like differentials a little bit, and they all have good matchups, you know. Again, I think Crew will batter Chicago Fire. I think Atletico Mineiro are going to win comfortably. They're at home as well, and Philadelphia is starting to really find some good form. So I think against the Earthquakes they should do pretty well too. And then Nils Old Boys. The reason why I didn't put these into All-Star Rare or Rare Pro is because although I do think they'll keep a clean sheet and they're very good at home, there's that little bit of doubt where I don't know the defensive rotation. Velasquez might not play. Mansilla might not play. We'll see what happens, you know. So I didn't want to gamble it in a super strong lineup. But if all 5 of these guys play and the results go my way, this is a team that could 100% get into the top 10. 100%. I think it's a team that could push 400 points easily. Captain 40 Super Rare, we have gone with Brad Guzan, Robin Proper, Asano, Vieira, and Azevedo. Now, it's an interesting one. So, Guzan has a great matchup on paper. Again, it's a weird one. I'm hoping, like, he seems to fit, like, it feels like Guzan is just, like, I think he's still a fantastic goalkeeper. Even at, like, 38 years old, he's fantastic. I do wonder how he's going to do against DC at home. The thing is with DC is that they do have players like Benteke as well, so it's just interesting. Looking at the 2 clean sheets that he kept, it was against Red Bulls at home and Charlotte away, and they're both clean sheets where he had quite a few saves to make. He actually did a little bit in both games. I mean, 3 saves, 3 good high claims, and a goalkeeper smother in this one, and then this one was 2 saves, 2 inside the box, you know. Whereas, like, it's these sort of the games like the Portland Timber game or the New York City game where it feels like an easier sort of matchup. He just, like, I don't know. Because if I look at, like, this game against Toronto as well, right? Like, I don't know. It feels like these are the kind of games where he just doesn't do actually amazingly. They kept 67% possession, kept them down to 1 big chance and only 4 shots. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm a little bit worried about playing them into a priority lineup, because I was going to throw out like a super rare team. So I originally planned on doing something like this, right? Guzan, Smal, João Paulo, Tiquinho, Suarez, and like Asano or Proper or Robinson. It probably would have been Asano, right? Something like that. I thought, like, because if we get a clean sheet and we get good scores around, that can be a genuinely really nice team. And I do want to play Super Rare a bit more often. But yeah, for me, it just didn't seem like, I mean, because that, like, looking at these scores and what it's capable, it's like, it's a nutty team. And if Guzan keeps a clean sheet, it's a big boy team. But yeah, for me, I don't know. I didn't want to do it. I don't feel like, I just feel like we're not going to get the clean sheet against DC, but we'll see. But this is still a really good lineup. This could definitely get threshold. I don't think it wins a reward. It only pays down to 21st. I don't think we get a reward in Cup 240 Super Rare here, but you never know. If we get clean sheet from Guzan, Proper gets a banging game, Asano scores, Vieira scores, and Azevedo scores, maybe we get a reward there as well. We'll see. Cap 240 Rare is kind of like a little bit more of a throwaway. So we have Asako, Oiwa, Alano, Pen Khalifa, and Kisung Young. It is actually a full Asia team. Now, I did think about playing this in Champion Asia Rare, but I thought the threshold would mean a lot more to me than a tier 4 Asia Rare card, so I've gone with this instead. Definite potential to get the threshold, but I don't think we'll win a reward or get a big reward anyway if it does. Because we have a Champion Asia Rare Pro team again. So this is literally just throwaway. This is complete throwaway. So Lee Kyung-ho, I actually only bought to get a +1% on Cecilia, but I thought, you know what, he's there. He comes off the bench every now and then. We'll throw him into it. We'll throw him into this team because I just had this lying about, right? We have Shimada and Morishige, who... Morishige averages about 30 points a game, but like, not AA, like 30 points flat. But every now and then gets like a random 70-point game, right? Ota, who I picked up, right? This guy, Gakuji Ota, I picked up mainly because he started to get game time, and I don't really do my research. I don't know why he started to get game time, but he started to get some game time, and I thought at £118, you know, 1 or 2 more starts here and there, and we could be looking at a good goalkeeper. Like, in terms of price, like, we could see a nice rise. He wasn't in the squad for a very long time and then randomly got a start, then got benched again, and then has randomly been started again. Don't know exactly why, but like I said, 1 or 2 more. They've got a couple of half decent matchups coming up. 1 or 2 more starts maybe if we get lucky and we sort of see what happens. But again, I'm not really that bothered anyway. If he doesn't do well, it is a complete throwaway. It won't win a reward. It only pays down to like 28th. So, you know, but they are my lineups basically in terms of like what I'm hoping for from this week. Like, a good game week for me would be a couple of tier 2s maybe, and then threshold from both thresholds. That's what I'm hoping for. I feel like All-Star Rare Pro has definitely got potential to get a tier 2 or higher. I think All-Star Rare has definitely got potential to get a tier 2 or higher. I think Champion America Rare has got potential to get a tier 3 or higher as well. But that could end up being my best lineup. And then Threshold, I think we've definitely got Threshold on the card for Super Rare and Rare. It just depends on if Ben Khalifa comes off the bench and how long he plays off the bench, or if he starts and whatnot, you know. But yeah, so that's kind of my lineups for this week. Now, the title is actually titled around winning my first Super Rare, because this midweek has been huge for me, and we're going to go into talking about a little bit more in a second as to what I was talking about earlier about, you know, planning ahead for midweeks and stuff. But this midweek has been huge for me because in Cap 240 Super Rare, I'm currently sat in 4th, and I can only go from 4th to 6th. So I am... as long as we don't get an up to down score, which is definitely possible, and it probably will happen, but you know, touch wood, it doesn't happen, right? At the moment, we are looking at the 0.1 ETH, $200 0.1 ETH, right? At a tier 3 super rare. So not only will I be winning my first ever super rare, but even a tier 3. And it's actually quite unfortunate because Hadzimedovich actually started the game. He played 60 minutes and he just stunk the gaff out. He made 1 tackle, lost 8 duels, made 2 penalty area entries, just didn't really do a whole lot in this game and dropped a 27-pointer. Itshaber dropped nearly the same amount of points and he was on the pitch for 21 minutes, you know? So, yeah, it's a bit rough. But Guzan with a monster game. Miles Robinson with a monster game. And Van Croy with a monster game. We did really, really well, which I'm very happy about. So, we could be winning our first ever Super Rare. Now, it's weird because on the homepage of Sorare, it shows me in 3rd. But on Sorare Data, it shows me 4th. I think Sorare Data is the one to go off because in previous, I've seen this happen with other people, and like Sorare Data is the one to trust, not Sorare. But we also actually have a bit more to talk about because we've got the $50 threshold here in Cap 240 Rare, as long as like there's no Opta adjustments, but I'm hoping there won't be. We are 5.2 points in, so let's say they add another big chance miss from Freddy Vargas, we're still going to get threshold, which is lovely. But also, All-Star Rare, we are 38 points away from a tier 5 and 52 points away from a tier 4, right? And we still have our captain, Davidson, to play. Now, I don't know if he's going to play or not. He might start. He might come off the bench. I'm not sure. He came off the bench in his last game. There are a couple of Chinese League games actually going on still. So we have Henan Songshan Longmen versus Zhejiang Professional, Shanghai Port, Delan Pro versus Beijing Guan, Wuhan, and then Kangzhou Mighty Lions still playing. So, but there is definite actual potential to still get a big boy reward here. Like, let's say Davidson, who has got, if he starts, actually has potential of getting 100 points. He is a monster scorer. He hasn't hit it yet this season, though. But we could see scores like this, right? If we're lucky. If he gets a couple of decisives. I mean, I don't think these are necessarily an amazing team. Let's see how their goalie's been putting up. What score? I guess they're coming off the back of 3 clean sheets, to be fair. But then conceded 3 to Tinjani Tigers. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, hey. Like, if he starts, we get a tier 5 rare. If he drops, a 40-pointer plus captaincy, we get a tier 4 rare. If he scores, we get a tier 3 rare and $30. And if he drops 100 points, we get a tier 2 rare and like $60. So the dream is alive, well and truly. It's a really good midweek. And one thing that I will say, so when I was talking earlier about planning ahead, this card, Freddy Vargas, is a card I bought a little while ago for peanuts, pretty much. I bought it for like nothing. I paid £17 for him. And he's actually like brought me in probably about that in terms of what he's brought me in. So I don't know why I can't select it. Is it just broken? What's going on? Hello? Are we good? Let me refresh it real quick. Are we okay? It's not really working, but he's actually won me 3 thresholds so far, which is beautiful. He only has a select amount of games as well. He only has Colin Bull Libertadores games too. But in his last 3 games, I mean, scoring here was huge, getting me threshold. But yeah, he's actually got me threshold. And that's why I always say, like, it's good to look ahead. Because if you're going into Football Lineup Builder and you look into, like, let's say game week 385, and you potentially have, I don't know, like, you've got Hoyos, Velazquez, because they're at home to 19th in the league, right? You got like Gil or like let's say you've got like Alano, Tiquinho Suarez, who's got a great matchup, and like Joao Paulo's got a great matchup, right? But let's say you didn't have a defender, you could potentially look at a defender that fits your gallery that you can pick up in like advance, like 5 weeks in advance of when you actually need him. But that's a card that can then actually help you massively with your gallery, and that's why I look at someone like that Freddy Vargas. I think it's really important to look ahead in Sorare and potentially pick up cards that can help you in the long run, because I think a lot of people look 1 or 2 game weeks in advance, and I think like I've actually done really well looking like 3 or 4 or 5 game weeks in advance at times, maybe even longer. I think it's really important to look really far in the future sometimes to try and, and build out your gallery in preparation for when you're actually going to need these cards. But that is pretty much it for this video. I will obviously open the reward on video, probably in tomorrow's video. I'll show you guys the reward because I'll be streaming FIFA tonight. But I appreciate you guys chilling and watching. Thank you for watching. Let me know down below what you think of the lineups and what you guys are running in this week. And I'll see you guys in the next video.